following the wild ride of your AMD, one of our favorite chip manufacturers, which is owned by my travel trust, is essentially flying for 2024. Keep in mind that AMD is the only chipmaker that can compete with Nvidia in the artificial intelligence space. However, the stock has dropped about 80 points from its springtime highs. Something is obviously wrong, so let's speak with Dr. Lisa Su, the Chair and Chief Executive Officer of Advanced Micro Devices, to learn more. Welcome back to M&J. It's wonderful to be here with you. Well, Lisa, I saw you get honored early this week. It was a terrific event, Time 100, and you were in a featured toaster because you've done so much well. And you said something really, it caught my ear attention. You said that we'll look back 10 years from now, and we can't believe what life was like now. Will you tell me what you're seeing 10 years from now that would make it so this seems also pedestrian? Well, first of all, Jim, great to be here with you, and I have to say, I really do believe we talk a lot about AI. But we're just really at the beginning of understanding what I can do for us, and if you take a step back, like I've been in this industry for over 30 years, and we've seen a lot of interesting technology. We saw cloud, we saw mobile, we saw PCS, we saw all these were all great technologies, but AI is something different, because it makes everything better in terms of it makes our businesses more productive. It makes our engineers more productive, it makes researchers more productive, and it helps us really. I can see a world where AI really helps us solve really some of the world's toughest problems. And that's why I say it was a nice event on a Monday night. It was one of those events where you could see a decade from now, nobody's going to be asking what was the ROI on AI. They're going to say that AI is part of our life. It's how we live, it's how we run our businesses, it's how we do our research, it's how we teach our kids. That's the world that I see. What do you say to people right now who are watching who just say, what, that's just businesses talking to businesses? I truly feel that artificial intelligence will have an impact on everyone's life, even though it's only now beginning. So let's not get impatient. However, I don't see it having any effect on my life at all. We've only been in this, let's call it, ChatGPT world for maybe 18 months, but we're all learning and it's fun. We use it to make ourselves, to answer questions for us, to help us in sales and marketing, and to help us build chips. Tech trends are meant to play out over years, not over months. To be honest, in terms of huge language models, but now, because we're going to see it in every part of our lives, I consider it to be personal help. I view it as education. I think that one of the things I'm most excited about is what we can do to accelerate research and improve healthcare. If you look at the process that drug companies would have to go through to discover new drugs, it could take years, and the majority of them fail. Not succeed exactly. If you could change years to weeks, right? That's where days, that's kind of the superpower, and that's just one example. And the beauty of all this is you need the computing, and that's what we do, right? We do all the foundation of the computing that enables AI to help us in these industries. And that's why I'm just so excited about where we are right now. All right now, I want to disabuse some people of a notion. People tell me, well, listen, it's either Nvidia or it's AMD. And to me, if you don't think that there's room for two, you really don't understand the space. But that you taught me that let's teach others that, well, it's absolutely true. The way to think about it is there's no one size fits all in computing. There's no only one architecture. Actually, you're going to need the right compute for each application. Like I'm excited about AI everywhere. I'm excited about AI in the cloud. I'm excited about AI in PCS, so that we each have our own, sort of AI engines. I'm excited about AI at the edge and an infrastructure that we use, throughout, the entire world. So there are all kinds of different computing that you need. And the beauty of AMD is that, we've had this vision for the last, 10 plus years. This is kind of how we thought about, So what do we want to be when we grow up? We want to be the high-performance computing leader, and AI is a huge piece of that, okay? But let me give you how I feel as someone who's followed you from when the stock was at 5, and you explained to me why to sell Intel at 50, and why buy AMD at 5. So far, so good, But you explained to me a roadmap, and it was a roadmap of Italian cities, and it was going to lead to triumph. And when that triumph occurred, company, be worth a lot more. I hear a lot more about AI these days than I do about the roadmap. What happened to the roadmap? And is that not earning you as much money as it once did? Well, Let me first ask you to stand back and say, you need to computing of all sizes. So if you want to talk about Italian cities, I could talk to you about Italian cities. There's really a think about this way. There's like three types of computing, right? There's this big accelerator AI computing that we're talking about for our large language models. And for all of that stuff we're at Dream. Yeah, my 30, we're at Dreamforce this week. There's a lot of talk about what you need to do, with agents and things like that. There's traditional compute, and in CPU land, where our Italian roadmap has done extraordinarily well. If you think about data centers around the world, they need to become more efficient. There's too much old equipment. That equipment has to be upgraded. You need the highest performance, lowest power efficiency, overall total cost of ownership. We're now in our 5th generation of our Italian cities. So Turn is our latest and greatest products. We're just about to launch it in the next quarter. Lots of exciting things going on there. I talked about apes that are also a very exciting trend that we're going to see going forward in the PC market, where we have intelligence and I. And then we also have our embedded computing gym. I've talked a lot about that. Sort of what we're doing with focus and adaptive computing. We utilize a great deal of AMD in the aerospace and defense industries. But underneath that, when you consider industrial test and measurement, we are computing across the board. Naturally, there is a lot of excitement around artificial intelligence and accelerators. But these are really the 3 main legs of our computing stool. It makes sense that the AI portion is exciting, because you released some pretty amazing numbers for 2027. At first, many people thought those numbers were impossible. But as time goes on, it appears that they are reasonable and rational projections, don't they? Furthermore, we observe the computing market in the AI acceleration partnership, as well as several